Okay, so let's talk about the more construction and design team from this chapter. What is about our project team? So what do you think about the project team for architectural project? Project run by 3 teams. What kind of a supporting team required in project? First one, we need the money to build up your project. So means we need the owner, right? So owner team is owner, financial, and then user groups. Owner usually hire 2 teams. First one, design team, which is architect, engineer, and other consultant. So we have to figure out owner's needs through the design. Okay, and then owner hire construction team, which is a general contractor and subcontractor. Okay, these 3 part is the major the project team for realize your design to the construction. So there's a 2 different the project team type. The first one, design, bid, and build. Okay, so means owner hire design team and construction team separately. Okay, first one, owner work with the design team, and then we finish the actual our drawing set, and then owner work with the architect to choosing the construction team, which is a contractor. Okay, so means design team and construction team work separately, but more about the architect involved during the construction time, but in the designing period, the design team never meet the construction team. So means owner hire design team complete the design, but it's sometimes difficult integrating construction expertise into the design. But sometimes when you're making out the detail and then want to know about this design better, so we need to be consultant from the construction team. So if when we talk together during the design process, we probably getting the better idea to making the project and then easy to find out the solution for your detail. But design build process, this kind of more about the separate contract. That's why design team is hard to getting the information from the construction team during the design process. Okay. But during the construction team, they have a 2 part, GC, which is a general contractor, and then subcontractor. General contractor usually manage overall the construction management, which is a schedule and contact the subcontractor and then managing the construction. But GC hired the subcontractor. The subcontractor is more about the small part. They just working only for the window, only for the door, only for the concrete, only for the structure. So general contractor have to be control these all different subcontractor to combining together into the one single project. So this is a general contractor's job, but subcontractor only provide a specific part from your project. Okay? So that's why when you work in the design build, the contractor and architect probably arguing a lot because architect purpose about this kind of a design, this kind of a detail, but sometimes the contractor never understanding about this type. So that's why they making the differently. So means it making a lot of arguing because we have a little bit different point of view. Architect and design is more focusing on the design and beauty. Contractor is more relating, more understanding, and want more of the more efficiency. So that's why they just kind of conflict several times. So I bring up some video. This video can introduce what is the relationship between architect and contractors. So let's watch the video together and then jump into the next the design team type.
You built many buildings, yet you sit in the truck. Need to quit cutting corners, trying to save a buck. You made a good bid, I couldn't decline, but let me teach you how to dress and respect design. I'm an architect with creative flair, cutting edge, king of architects, I am the heir. If we I'm the Mozart of vision. Look at my beautiful designs. If only you could build them, I wouldn't be confined. Confined? You live in my flying brain. You know little about a lot if I must complain. Your measurements are whack, now this window won't fit, and the detailing of those materials won't work. Oh man, so many issues you didn't account for. Have you ever stepped out of your office before? A definition of perfection with the lines that I draw, where you can't even get the right window installed. You're wasting my time, I'm done with this war. But let me ask you, have you ever built anything before? Who won? Vote now!
So just kind of that's why to protect this arguing between contractor and architect, we might consider about the design build the project team. So owner hire design team and contractor team together as the same entity. Okay, so means the as architect we can meet the subcontractor and contractor can getting the better idea about the project. So also it can be making the fast track design because it's much easier to and fast to deciding about a certain part of the project because it's more about the periodical meeting between architect and designer and the contractors. So it means easy to find a solution. Also owner is easy to control. So this is only single point of the accountable by the owner. So they just check the one point, but they can meet architect and contractor together. So they also better understanding about the overall design project. Also this pure check and balance because just simply making the one single meeting, they're all coming together, they talk together, making the decision. It's much easier to follow the direction. However, sometimes owner is hard to do the design build because owner sometimes it's pretty difficult to choosing the contractor during the construction period because owner just want to comparing the different contractor company after completing the construction document. And they want to just kind of make the bidding and then just find out the cheapest place to work with their project. So that's why, so design build, owner have to be know about the contractor very well, and then owner have to be trust the designer. So when you're having the more of the trust base, owner and architect and construction team working together, so this is a much efficient way to work in the project better. So nowadays I'm also working the some single family house in South Korea. So this is kind of our kind of process to making the design build. Because the owners doesn't want to hire the general contractor from the schematic design and design development phase. So that's why we complete the construction document first. Before starting after the 50% construction document, we hire the general contractor because about the 50% we can actually bid the construction cost. So it means we actually invite the 3 different contractor firm and then we provide the 50% progress the construction document, and then the general contractor they provide their portfolio and then provide the bidding cost, and then owner and us we just kind of comparing each other to find out the better firm. And then so after 50% general contractor, one of the general contractor team, the selected general contractor team, we just working together. I mean, they actually send 2 steps in our office. So it means we working together to from the actual construction document set together. So it means they know the project better, and also we can getting the better knowledge from the general contractor. So it means it is much easier to smoothly move it out. But this is kind of every project has different condition. You have to be confirm what kind of a design team and what kind of project team can be better for perform your project. Okay. So next one is the construction management. The owner, if your project is super complex, owner is super busy, it's hard to control the project by himself or by themselves, by herself. In this case, owner hire CM, which is construction management. Construction management control the project, control the contractor, control the design team. So owner only meaning the construction management because about it's much easy to hear from the construction management because they already control the overall the design, which is to control the design team and control the contractors. They got us one information and then deliver their information to the owner. So that's why this owner can hire CM company, that this company is much easier to control the overall project. Okay. So next one is the payment option. It is important to remember when you be the project architect in the future, what kind of payment option you might consider for your project. So there's two different the payment option. First option, the lump sum, which is the fixed fee. A fixed fee also referred to as a flat rate or linear rate. It refers to a pricing structure that charge a single fixed fee for a service. So means owner pay agreed the fixed amount for the work to be performed. So just kind of a owner just paid a single time or just paid as contract. They just pay before construction, after construction. So means general contractor also most risk or potential reward because they pay the once. If they finish their project below some actual fixed fee, they get an reward. But their budget is over this fixed fee, they lose the money. So that's why it's best to the project where scope of the work is well defined before construction start. If general contractor know about these types about the project very well, they already know about the construction cost from their experience. They can do the fixed fee. Okay, so they just pay the client to pay the money, and then they can build, and then they can understand the profit from the fixed fee to making the project the profitable for the general contractor. The next one is cost plus fee. What is about the cost plus contract? It is also termed a cost reimbursement contract. Owner pay the initial contract cost. Then owner have a responsibility for the extra charge. Owner will have an invoice about the extra cost. The contractor doesn't have to pay his estimate to cover the unknown potential cost. So this is more about the trust-based payment option because owner have to believe general contractor. Because some general contractor is bad general contractor bring the fake receipt to charge more. Okay? So usually contract the initial cost first. So fixed fee just kind of paid everything from the general contractor, but this one is kind of paid initial cost. But extra part, okay, and then they just kind of keep bringing the receipt and ask the cost to the owner. Okay, so means this is more about owner is more risk. You can getting some cost risk or sometimes getting the saving the reward because just pay the initial cost and then the contractor finished their project cheaper. The owner having some reward. They can save the money, but the budget can higher too because about if the contractor they spend more money and they ask more money to build to finish the project, it can be more about the cost risk issue. So, but it's mostly using for it's not fully defined when construction begin. If not finish the specification well and then construction document well, so general contractor it's hard to giving the estimation. In this case, they just kind of a contract with the initial cost, and then when they process construction, they charging this extra cost to the owner. Okay. But sometimes client really scared because they pay the initial cost and then the general contractor keep asking the money to build. Sometimes can be out of control. So that's why some contractor provide guarantee the maximum price. So the client pay the initial cost, but the general contractor provide guarantee the maximum price. So if, for example, they mentioned about you just pay the $10 for the initial contract, but we're gonna using the cost plus fee but our maximum price can be $100. Okay, so means it have to be bidding under $100 from the contractors. So means client is more about what's better mind and a better situation to control the finance issue. But in this version, the contractor will split the saving with the customer if the job come in below the maximum. In this case, contractor has an added incentive to beat the maximum price. It means general contractor, the bidding the under maximum price, they can getting the incentive for the project. Okay, so this is about the cost plus a fee option. So next one we talk about the construction phasing. The drawing phase has two different steps. The conceptual drawing is more about sketch, Bayesian rendering, Bayesian modeling. Doesn't too much consider about the code and zoning and other specific the data or the detail part. But development drawing, from this conceptual drawing, you bring some concept to the actual architecture part. So development drawing, how you actually realize your architecture concept to the real world. To making out this development drawing, you have to follow from SD to the CA. SD is more about the schematic design, which is more about follow the Bayesian zoning requirement. And the design development, which DD is design development, it is more about realize the schematic design. So you have to be deciding material and also have to be draw out the detail and also have to be follow some IDC and then more zoning specifically. So means you have to be complete some overall architecture design from the design development. After design development, you're moving to the construction document, which is a CD. Construction document have to be including the all information, or detail information, or material information, or specification information. Also have to be including the written specification during the construction document. After that, we have to be hire the contractors, so which is the bidding and negotiation period. The owner usually work with the architect to select the contractor. We have to be invite the few contractor. The contractor provide the cost about the project and also provide their portfolio, and then we choosing the one of them, and then we moving to construction. During the construction, architect have to be responsibility for the CA, which is the construction contract administration. What is about the CA? So building is getting the complex. Sometimes, not sometimes, many times, the contractor keep asking about some detail and overthink, and then the field-based change. Architect have to be keep responsible about their request. Okay, so this is what we call the CA, and then we also have to occasionally go to the site to see how they build the project proper way. And then let's talk about some construction phase. We already talked about the schematic design to the CA, construction demonstration. So construction phasing has the two different options, such as the sequential construction and phased construction. On the sequential construction, each major phase begins only after preceding phase is complete. It means design has to complete before construction begins. So you remember about the SD, DD, CD, bid, and CA. It means after complete the SD, you can move it to the DD. After complete the DD, you can move it to the CD. It's more about the sequential linear process when you choose the sequential construction. It's like taking a much longer time comparing to the phase construction. What is about the phase construction? It is somehow overlap between the construction phase. The SD and DD can overlap, and DD and CD can overlap. The CD and bid is overlap, and bid and the construction period is overlap too. Even the construction period is overlap with the CD. So depending on the process, it is kind of phase construction anyway, to making the shorter the process. So because everything is overlapping each other. However, this is kind of much difficult to manage the project because each part overlapping each other. So it means you have to be the project architect have to be controlling this overlapping point. It can be shorter, but it's much stressful to manage the project because of this overlapping part. So we can just simply comparing what is different between the sequential and the phased construction. Sequential construction is much simpler to manage because you only control the one single phase. SD, DD, CD, B, CA. It's much simpler to management. So that's why it's mostly commonly associated with design, build construction. It's more about the linear construction. We want to work with the design team first, which is the construction document, and then we move into the construction. It's more about the simple to management using the sequential construction. But if you want to build faster, you have to be choosing the phase construction that require closer coordination between design and construction activity. This is additional risk if elements built early come into the conflict with a large later the design decision. It's also mostly commonly using for the design, build, and construction because the owner can work with the design and construction team together in one time. It's much easier to control the project in once. Okay, so the construction team involved construction document set period. They even start the earthwork first, and then when architect finish the all interior detail and everything, they just keep going, and then this can build up some interior the design later. So it means everything construction and drawing set move together. You can be making a much shorter time to finish up the project, but once again, this is additional risk and much stressful to control the project. Okay, but honestly, most projects basically follow the phase construction because time is money for the contract. Time is money for the owner. So there's the owner prefer the phase construction rather than sequential construction. So I just kind of giving the one last example using the phased construction. So this project is the UC Berkeley dormitory, and then we're using the phased construction to design this piece. This is the initial rendering image. The model and rendering is good media to deliver your design idea. So we just confirm that this kind of rendering image. The small rendering is like a corridor and then rooftop. We just kind of confirm that this part, and then we start the construction document. And of course, we have to finish the SD and DD. And when you start the construction document, the owner want to finish every construction before before semester start because they want to get the student into this dormitory. That's why we're choosing the prefabrication idea. So means during the construction document period, we're making the several module first. We design the several module. We draw out this module design, and then we just kind of ask the fabrication shop to making each module. So during the construction document period, the contractors start the fabrication in a fabrication shop, and then they also making the mock-up model here, the one-to-one scale mock-up model in around the Berkeley University. So I can show here. So just a second. So they just kind of mock-up model using this module. Okay. So after they just kind of satisfied this mock-up model, and then we just kind of completing our construction document. They start construction on the field. Everything already complete in the fabrication shop. They complete every module they already complete. They also already complete the earthwork. And after we finish the construction document, they simply assemble together on the site. So let's watch this video how we process. Everything prefabricated pieces from the factory. They simply assemble on the site. It's very quickly constructing these pieces. using the same prefabrication process. So you just complete this project, and then everything very successfully turned that out because we already making the mock-up, but it's kind of using the phased construction during the our construction drawing period. We already decide contractor team, and the contractor team start the construction, making the, the module from the fabrication shop. So this is a much saved time to build out the project. So this is more about the top view. And then this is a front side, and then passageway, and then this is the interior side. Okay, and then the small image you can see. So depending on the construction schedule, depending on your budget, depending on your owner type, you have to be choosing the proper method to making your project successfully. So I just kind of introduce the several consideration to choosing the proper option for your design. Please kind of read carefully and consider carefully how you can choose the proper option for your design. Okay, so just let me know if you have any question. Please contact me anytime. Okay, so I just love to talk about the project and this lecture series together. Okay, and then I also reassign the first lab, just kind of read through, and then just you can work with the lab with Eric and the teaching assistants. Okay, thank you so much for your the first lecture.